how we started this little canvas, right? That's all we need. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Everybody's looking fantastic. Welcome in, welcome in. And I need a couple colors out onto my palette. My name's Paint with Josh. Welcome. If you've never seen a Paint with Josh show, welcome in. We're all over the place sometimes. Most times I'm not ready at the very beginning. So give me a second. I'm gonna do like a cool little scene for you, but I need the right paints. And then I'm trying to simulcast to YouTube and Facebook all at the same time. And so everything starts to get a little crazy. Just a little nuts. There. Just need a few colors. I'm gonna tell you the colors I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing Indian Yellow, our Prussian Blue, a little bit of our Alizarin Crimson, Midnight Black, Titanium White. We've got Sap Green, Cad Yellow, Yellow Ochre, both the brown colors, the Dyke Brown and the dark Sienna Brown. And there we go. I think we'll be all set. Some purple. I don't even know if we're going to use it, right? Normally when we do sunsets and stuff, we use some purple. So check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? And I'll tell you what I've done to my canvas so far. It's a 16 by 20 inch canvas and just a plain old white canvas, standard size. You can get these anywhere, right? What I did was I covered it in our Bob Ross liquid white, right? So all of the canvas and all points, even in the center, all points on your canvas should be wet. Okay, you should have that very, very, very thin layer, and you don't want it to cover your fingerprint. If it's goopy, you've got too much on there, okay? You can take a paper towel and wipe it all off. Now, if I wanted to do a sunset, I would go right in here into my Indian Yellow first, kind of pull this guy down, get a little bit onto my brush, and let's just pop it right into there. Why not? Let it work its way up. All right, go down here. It can even work its way down here. Who knows what it's gonna look like by the time we get done, right? How far is it gonna slide on our canvas? That's all up to us. Let's put a little bit more down here in the water. If you're gonna have water down here at the bottom of your canvas, you wanna have the colors more vibrantly on it, like heavier, right? Let them blend a little softer in your sky, but you want them heavier in your water. Don't ask, that's just how I do it. And if you want to paint like old Paint with Josh, that's how you should do it, right? We're gonna go into our Bob Ross Crimson. That's the Alizarin Crimson by Bob Ross brand. Start dropping this guy on. Oh, look at how far you can let that color grow down. Right? It wants to cover over all of your light color, which is okay. If it happens and you get rid of all your yellow, that's fine. You'll just have a cool little, I don't know, like an orangey sky, right? Which will be totally fine. Take our crimson, come down, or come from the side, dragging inward very lightly. Don't need to have too, the harder you push, the farther you're gonna drag, right? So up to us every time, what it looks like, how far your colors stretch into the night, and all these things. All up to us, right? Let's try to save a little bit of lighter color in there somewhere. Who knows where it'll be. Same thing over here, taking our crimson, launching it around the side, and then all we really need is a little touch of our dioxazine purple. If you don't have purple, you can always mix your blue and crimson together to make a purple. But this dioxazine purple is really awesome. It's from a company called Gamblin. Windsor also has a dioxazine purple, and I've used it. It is amazing, right? Don't put too much on there. It's going to want to grow. Remember, we're going to have a little starting point for our paint. A little starting point, and we know it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, right? So, how far do you want it to grow? That's up to you. How much paint are you putting out there on the canvas? Are you really chucking in a whole lot? You just have a little bit? What's going on in your scene? That's going to be up to you. Now, we can't very well blend this sky or water or anything with all this paint on the brush, right? It's just going to continue to make it darker. So let's go watch it. Remember, if you are in the Sella, Washington area, I'll be doing group classes in Sella, Washington. Check out happily.painted.com and you'll be able to find the info for that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun if you're in the area or anywhere close. It's probably the only time I'll ever be there. And so, you'll have to come down and see. It's once in a lifetime opportunity. Right? Now, let's come in here into our nice clean area with a dry brush. You don't want to have any wetness on your brush. especially from the cleaning jar. Don't want to have any of that wet on there, okay? Don't worry about what our water looks like. We'll figure that part out later. All we're doing is crisscrossing our brush, getting a little bit of that yellow onto the brush, working it up into our crimson color, not hitting the purple just yet, and work that crimson down, right? You can decide how far down it wants to go, how bright or how vibrant or whatever that you want it to be, because it's up to you and your sky. How soft do you want it to be, right? Again, totally up to you. Once you get out here into your purple, you want to have very light touch. Otherwise, that purple could drag all the way across, right? It's all dependent on our pressure. The 3 P's of Paint with Josh. What a good segue. Does anybody know the 3 P's of old Paint with Josh? If you've been watching me long enough or watching me at all, you may have heard me talk about the 3 P's of Paint with Josh. And I can tell you what they are. Just right here and quickly now, unless you want to tell me what they are, right? The more we push on that purple, the more it'll roll down because of the 3 P's, guys. Right? How does your sky look when you're blending it? Do you want it to be softer? It means you have to push harder. Okay? Do you want it to be more vibrantly bright? Push less hard, right? It's all the pressure, guys. So, what are the 3 P's? I'm sure you're asking yourself. Here's P number 1, the amount of paint that's either on our brush or on our canvas, right? Second P, pressure. How much pressure are we pushing, letting that paint grow, right? What's our third P? Anybody out there? Do you know the third P of Paint with Josh? It could be lots of different things, but this third P is almost the most important one. Look at how soft that sky became, you guys. Practice. That's pumpernickel. That's funny. That is funny. Paint, pressure, practice. Donna knows 100%. 100%. That is it. You guys know. All right, so what we're going to do is judge with our eyes how far we want that darkness to creep over into our sky. And let's just say, even with all this paint, right, we can even grab some from right up here. Watch this. What if we came, dip the brush down low like this, and just tapped in right into our brightness, and a little bit thicker, just enough so we can grab it with our brush. And all of a sudden, you got this far off little cloud in the distance, right? Kind of right into your sunny area. Now, let's take a nice clean dry brush, and we'll mix this guy up, or at least brush him out. Couple little drags out to the side. Very, very, very far away cloud. See how easy that is? We didn't add any paint to the brush. We didn't do anything. We just didn't clean the brush, right? That was pretty much it. Don't worry about your bottom area. We're gonna go over that spot many, many, many times. And it all depends on you. How far is your sky coming down, right? How close is it to your water or your horizon? Where is your horizon? Because every time you do a painting, you can do it a little differently, right? Your horizon may end up being in a different place. Your bright spot could be in a different place. Everything could blend together. Everything could not blend together. It's all up to us. Now, if I do want to blend this, let's switch to a different brush, okay? Let's get down into a nice clean dry brush. And you can get the old Paint with Josh brush out over here. All right, be nice and soft. Now, the Paint with Josh brushes are a little bit more soft than your normal oil painting brush because they can be used for acrylics, watercolor, oils, and everything else. And you can't tell me they can't be used with oils because I show you, and I have shown you. I've done full paintings with the Paint with Josh brushes. I find them more fine detail-oriented brushes, right? So when I want to do a certain shape, or if I want to make some grass, I'm definitely going to use my Paint with Josh 1-inch brush, right? I want to do a certain thing like our little trees that come in from the side. I definitely want to use the Paint with Josh 2-inch brush when I'm doing that. And again, just based off our pressure, we can kind of pull away from the canvas, not have all these. And if you got some streaks like that, go like this. Pull them down, pull them down, pull them down, brush them out to the side. It's the easiest way to make them go away, right? You can sit here and go like this, back and forth, back and forth. You're not really doing anything to remove those streaky areas, right? Or from bottom to the top. How do you want it to be, right? Every time you do this and you crisscross, it just looks a little bit more glossier, right? Than And we get to decide. That's a wicked cool painting just right there, right? Call that a seascape right there, just very far away. Very far away. But you get to decide, what do you want it to be, right? Maybe you wanted it to be just an icy, or just a frozen, not even that, just a super still little thing, right? That means, yeah, we're gonna have to go like this. We're gonna touch it like this. And then get a little bit bigger on the bottom side versus the top side, right? Again, do you want to have a reflecting little cloud or a little reflecting pond over there? Do you not? What did we do before? Just kind of brushed at it, right? Just to give it that little indication there may be a reflective bit of water down here. How do you want yours to look, right? Because every time that we do it is another opportunity to do it a little what? A little the same? Or maybe a little bit differently? Maybe. I'm just, maybe. Maybe, I'm just saying. Okay, let's get over here. We're gonna pull down on our titanium white. Right there, a little of that titanium white onto our brushery. And then let's add a couple more little bits of clouds out here. Just kind of, just right in between the yellow and that pinkish curve right there. Just pop this guy, bang. How much paint do you want to have? How far do you want your cloud to grow? Right? This one's obviously really far away if we can see this in so much detail so close, right? Now, I always try to leave a little bit of space. If it's very thin, this guy up here, you can't grab that with your big old brush, right? Even with the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush, being very thin, it's still, it's too big to, you know, there's not enough paint up there. So what you need to do is leave yourself a little bit of paint, then you can come in, even with the old soft and flop Paint with Josh number 1, the 1-inch brush, right? You're just softening it. Just taking a little bit of the color, spreading it out, allowing it to grow down, to mix in with your other colors, right? You're deciding what it looks like. So you don't like that spot out on the end, you just push it a little harder. Blend that sucker away, right? All of a sudden it's gone. Poof. Poof. Done. Is that the cloud? Is done. Flipper? Okay. Over here, over there. Any area that you don't like, you can literally come in and scrub at it, right? You want to have a little bit of shadow in there. Maybe you made it too bright. Like, oh, Josh, what have I done? I've made it too bright. How did we make this one? Let's come up here and just grab a little bit of this purple just in that corner of our canvas. Maybe you want to come in and add a little section of little bit of darkerness. It's not straight purple from our thing, but right there, you just added a little bit of detail in your cloud. Now, if you want to add some distance, anytime you have a bit of shadowy area, you come in here with another bit, bright, dip, down, right? Any little thing that you put in front of that shadowy spot will then add depth into your set. Let's not try to cover over our little guy way back there, right? But at least now, maybe we've got a little bit deeper of a cloud, if not two clouds. We've got a little bit of deeper one back there, in which case, you've just added more depth, right? Say you wanted to mix it together. Just like, literally, you can do whatever you want to do. Maybe you came down and left only a little smaller section of darkness, right? If we got a bit of bright up there, we'll pop some over here. Why not? Literally, do it. Try something, right? When you lose that fear of, oh no, I'm gonna ruin it, and you replace that fear with curiosity. What's gonna happen if I do this, right? If I can do this, then maybe we can do that, and then we can do this again. We can do more. We can keep going, and you just keep making it up as you go, right? Forget about that fear. You don't need it. You don't need all that stuff. Let's get out here into our black, crimson, and blue paint. You check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now in the world, wherever you're at? What time is it? Because for me, it's 5:16 p.m. or 17:16. It's about to be 17:17 here in a minute. Literally 1 minute. Hey-o. So, where are you guys from? Let's see if I can keep up. Iowa. Let's see, Chicago. We got 8:15, noon. How's it noon? We got New Zealand, Texas, Colorado. I like it, I like it. Delaware, North Carolina, Kansas, Eugene. I'm in Eugene. Shut up. I'm in Eugene. South Carolina, New Jersey, Florida, Maryland, Quebec, Michigan, Ireland, Minnesota, UK, Maryland, California, South Africa, Wisconsin. I almost read that as Wi-Fi, but there wasn't a F-I there. So, Wisconsin. Now we're going to come out here into our darkness, and let's just take a little bit of bright, a little bit of our white paint. Let's just make it a little brighter. So we're taking about half of our pile, right? About half of the pile of that dark, and mixing it with a little bit of white, just to have it become a brighter color than its previous self. It doesn't need to be so dark, so far away, right? So let's get into this color around here, and we'll make like multiple little things happen out here, okay? We're gonna start them up pretty high on our one side, and then we're gonna dip down below that cloud and try to save a little bit of that reflection. So let's come out here with our brightness. You can either start from down here or start from up here. Don't get too far up into those clouds, right? The more that you climb up into the cloud, the lighter color it's going to want to change because you're interacting with all of that white paint. Now, have you ever painted a painting? And you've reached a point in your painting where you're like, man, that looks so good that I don't even want to, like, those are my best clouds ever, right? Have you ever said that to yourself? Those are my best whatever ever, right? All that means in your brain, it's telling the rest of your painting to not cover those bits, right? When in fact, we need to cover some of the clouds. They need to be pushed backwards, right? You can't have everything just be underneath everything else. So even with our little guy, we're gonna come up and cover him just a little bit, right? He can be back there. All we're doing, down, up and down, filling in the rest, right? You come down here and fill in the whole rest of this guy. As we get over here, they're gonna be taller and taller and taller and taller, which means longer down, right? The distance in between the peak is much longer over here. You don't want it to just keep going up, and then all of a sudden, you're like this with just this much paint here. No. You gotta bring that stuff down. Bring it down. Bang. The more you fill it in, the more it pushes those clouds backwards. And then we can decide what we want it to look like, right? How do you want it to be? You want it to keep going? Do you not? Do you see? Maybe we get real small on some of these guys just by turning the brush at an angle. It's not hitting the canvas straight. It's at this angle like that. And you can get little old doofers down there. A couple little bits. Remember, save a little bit of your cloud, the colors underneath. Maybe it starts creeping back up on that side. You never know, right? However you want yours to look, literally. You are in control of your little background foresty future, right? You can decide. You see how sharp that Paint with Josh fan brush makes those trees out there? If you don't have a Paint with Josh fan brush yet, you better get that set, you guys. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. Okay, same thing. Gonna get that color. Let's try to match our little reflection. They don't have to be perfect down here at the top because we're gonna drag them out, right? They do have to kind of match how much of your little cloud is being pulled out. There we go. Just like that. Now, depending on what you want to do, where you want your water, this, that, and the other, you can decide where do you want to have your reflections, right? So maybe just by touching back here and just dragging down very slowly, boom, 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 right? If we had more paint over here, the reflections would continue on, but I don't really want to do reflections across the whole thing. Right? Swipe it back and forth. You still got some stuff in there, right? If you're really focused on it or really worried about it, you're just not going to be having fun, right? So if you have to go back too many times and add in little bits, it's just going to become unfun, okay? So try not to worry about your reflections too much. So try not to pull them down too much where we lose some of that yellow in our sky too. I really like that. Okay, now over here, we're going to need to mist up our area, right? And first things first, if we're going to pull down here, we definitely don't want to do as much pressure on the pull up. All right, we got to pull these guys up, flattening down those little bits of paint. And if you're coming down here leaving brush strokes or brush marks, don't worry, literally. Don't give two whatsits about those brush marks down there. Because all we're here to do is mess all that up anyway, okay? we're gonna come in here and start dabbing down, picking up some of the light color from down here, depositing it back up there. You can already see the mist forming. All right, we're taking some of the darkness, we're dabbing it down. Right. Every time we do it, picking up more bright, pushing it back up into here, creating that misty effect. All right, you can even do it right down in here. Just gotta keep your brush more on a sideways level kind of a deal. Now, where is the bottom? Where does the water start and our land end, right? We are deciding that every time that we go to do it. We get to choose and we get to go back and say, okay, this is where it is. This is where I want it to be, where you want it to be, whatever. That's very cool. Very cool, guys. Okay, let's come up with something. We know we're gonna have something over here, right? That's gonna make us have to look around it to get to our sunset. So what if we start launching out? Dude, you know what? I love the water. God, that's the thing too. You start thinking about different things and going, you know what I could do? I could do this and that and this and that, but I'm gonna lose all these beautiful reflections and different things in my water, right? So what if, oh, you guys, what if is the question. All right, let's get a little bit of our Van Dyke brown, darker brown color. I'm gonna mix it into this lighter version of our plaque, if you had any left. We just want it a little dark is all, right? Just a little old darkness. Now, very, very, very small, that's way too much, very small amount out here, okay? Very small little thing. And we can decide, do you wanna have land out there, and then where is your land, just by kind of cutting it in, scraping it back and forth, right? We can decide where our land is on the other side of that. Lake, river, whatever it is. We just need a little bit of a dark line. You see we're getting lower and lower and lower as we go. Start up a little higher, we get down a little bit lower. It's not really severe, but it is there. This downward thing happening out here. We know we're not gonna go all the way to the edge, so don't really worry about that. This guy, start turning our little tool on an angle like this, just to have a little bit more behind so you can grip something with your brush. If you don't have anything there to grab, same like I was telling you with the clouds, don't have anything there to grab and slide backwards or slide away. So we're doing that. We're judging how far we want it to go, the angle in which we want the land to look. We're judging that as we go every time. Right? Each time you do it, you might do it a little different than you did it before. Just like that. These paints are really crazily thick, so if you get them up there and you just get a really light pressure, you can do some amazing things without having them grow too stinking far. Right? Now, let's get a little touch of our liquid white. Liquid white is our base coat that we put onto the canvas initially. Little touch of it, little touch of our titanium white. Let's come out here. Right there, just a littlest indication, right? If you have too much far away, it's gonna ruin it for our eyeballs, right? So don't do too many things way the heck out there, and let's just see what we can do, guys. What if we come in here into our darker color, and we're gonna start mixing these two together anyway. Our little darkness, getting it onto our brush, and we can decide out there what's going on. Are there little sticky trees? Do you have little things out here that are living across on the edge out there, right? Do they have branches? Maybe. Maybe they come out one way and they come down here. Maybe they're not all overly filled, right? All things you can do each time that you do it. We're just kind of pushing our brush against the canvas, allowing that thicker paint to kind of stick to it, right? Now, why does this tree look like it's in front of all those other trees in the background, even though it's a very, very, very similar color? Why does it look like it's in front of these trees in the back? Can anyone tell me out there in the night? Can you, can you just let me know out there? And I'm gonna come at it with my, with our Paint with Josh bush brush, the round brush, okay? I'm gonna come into that same paint over here. Just trying to get the top half of the brush up here. And let's pop in just a few more little doers, little things. Maybe it's a bit of tree, maybe it's a big old bush, maybe it's something. right? Whatever it is, we can decide what it's gonna be. What if we turn our brush upside down? Just popped in a few little bits, right? Nothing crazy because the paint's gonna move, right? It's gonna want to extend and grow on us. So you don't wanna put on too many things. See the difference in between the two? This one's very light. Come in here like this, very lightly. And then you're deciding what it looks like, how it's acting. All up to you every time, okay? Now, what if we want to do that with our little guy right here? We're gonna take the same thing. We don't wanna go up too high, right? Again, we're gonna mess it up anyway. So, start going, actually we gotta go down. There we go. Down like this, pushing against it. Again, we're not trying to make a full tree, remember, because you gotta take it and pull it down just a slight little bit, very lightly. Swiping at it, right? The more you swipe side to side, the more it will change the look of it, and the harder that you push on it, the more it will go away, right? So you're deciding what you want it to look like. See how it's trying to make a little S shape? So you get to choose what it looks like every time. Don't worry. Don't you worry out there. Let's throw some highlights on those guys though. First thing I'm going to do is grab a little touch of my liquid white onto this oval brush. We're going to come in here into our sap green and our cad yellow. Just get a little bit of our brighter green up here. We're going to very lightly touch. If it doesn't come off with a very light touch, guess what? Your mixture isn't correct, okay? So what you need to do, instead of pushing harder, is go back and make it more wet. Now, how are you going to make it more wet? There's a couple ways to do it. All right, we're gonna go back, we're gonna get more of our liquid white. So you can change the consistency of the paint right there. So then if you come up here, you get more paint to fall off your brush with a lighter touch, right? This is not about trying to cover everything. It's not about trying to have everything be all the same, right? Again, much less highlights down in your water if you put any down there at all. But we're not trying to cover every piece of everything. Right? We don't want to do that. Why would we want to cover every bit? That doesn't make any sense to me. If anything, let's get a little bit more of our land. Start making some changes down here. Pop it out, fill it in. There, just extra paint is all. You know what I mean? Extra paint, change up the look, bring it down, right? It has to keep coming down, down, down. Every time that we do something, it's got to come down. Okay, what do we do with this guy? We drag him backwards. Right up into that little bit of our bush if you wanted to. How does yours look? Because it might look different every time that you go to do it, right? It could look different. What happens if we wanted a few more little bits, or to make our bush closer down onto the beach, right? You go back in, you add the darkness, you come back here, you tap in your little bits of light. Not everywhere is going to be so bright, and remember to leave spaces in between, literally. If we're covering every single space, I'm gonna get a little sap green, little my cad yellow too. Yellow ochre. If we're covering every space on the bush or on the tree, right, then there's no room for any darkness, any depth in our tree, right? Very light little touch. Little things, little bits. Not every place has branches. Not every place's branches are gonna show so brightly. Remember to leave a dark side on the back of your tree, right? If anything, not like that, pop in a little bit of brightness on that little doer. It's all up to you guys every time, guys. We're gonna have just a little touch of our Van Dyke or our dark sienna brown, just because it's gonna be very far away, but just put a little bit on our tree trunk back there, maybe a little indication in there too. Very cool looking if you ask me. I like it. Now, what if we got something bigger over here? We gotta get something bigger on our side over here. And kind of get this bigger too. So what do you think to this, guys? What if we took a bit of this guy, launched up as much of that paint as we could possibly get, and then just to make him closer over here, right? We're gonna come up, we're gonna feed into this kind of light area back in here, and it doesn't even have to be too much taller. Get up there, don't let the things connect. Drop it down. Right? As it comes down closer, it's going to make our land come a little closer, which is okay. It is okay. We just need enough of our paint on the brush. And remember, this is not just one bush. It's not just one tree. It's not just one of anything, right? It's a whole bunch of everything out here on this guy, okay? So, when you go to do your highlights on something like that, if you remember and think about, let's get a little bit of our yellow ochre onto the brush, just straight onto that same old brush, right? If you think about this guy being multiple little things, okay? So it's not just one whole bit. We don't have to just highlight it as one whole thing. You want to take some breaks in between your highlights. Go grab a little of your odorless mineral spirits or your brush cleaner into your titanium white. It becomes very, very, very runny. And then you can get out here and launch in just the thinnest, littlest little branches and different bits that are holding all these things up, right? Obviously, you don't have them come down too far because we're going to have to come back. Maybe back to that little bit of our brighter yellow onto the brush. Come back in here and start tapping on little bits again, right? Not every bush is going to be all the same. You go back to your little branchy mix, which is our odorless mineral spirits, and the titanium white, not your liquid white, because that'll be way too runny. Pop a couple little bits in there too. Why not? Everywhere you want them, you guys. Now, speaking of liquid white, we need to get some more out of our jar. Very cool. And then I need to get a little of that guy onto this little brush, and then we're going to continue, okay? Now, I have some bright red. I know I didn't announce it in the beginning, but we've got some bright red on our palette from last night's show. And what if we just had a little bit of fiery, just, ooh, look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. Little fiery red little bush back there. Okay, what do we do after this? Do we just continue making it all red? Or do we stop for a second and go, maybe we should add some what? What do you think? What would you want to do with your little guy? What do you think? Maybe we should put some sticks and twigs in there. And then if we wanted to, then maybe highlight just a couple more little areas. Having those little bits in between are really going to help you, okay? Now, let's grab our little palette scrapey tool again, since it seems to be the easiest way to keep our land going in a downward direction, right? Seems to be the easiest for me to do, for you guys to do, so let's just imagine this guy right here, just kind of pushing hard against it, making it lower and lower and lower and lower, just with that plaque mix or the Van Dyke brown mixed in with your plaque. Just throw it in there, okay? Same thing. You can always add your darkness at the base of your bushes and then go back and add some more once you know where your land is going to sit. Okay, take that land, start sliding it up, sliding it up. Very cool. Now you got this little thing down here that you can go choose to highlight if you want it. Right? Maybe you want to take a bit of your white and a bit of your brown, get those guys together. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good looking brown right there. Right, grab that up, down into here, and just very lightly, kind of let it graze across. Cut it in if you must, little places, right? You get that very kind of textured ground without having to do anything, you guys. We didn't have to do too much in order for that to happen, right? Out here, maybe chuck in just a little bit of liquid white, not too much again. If you have too much out there, then the stuff that's in here where we clean up the edge doesn't make any sense, right? If you can see this much detail in the water way back there and even further back there, it's gonna hurt our eyes. It's gonna go, what is going on? I can't figure it out. Watch, take some of your land, drag it down into the water, right? Just creating a little lip on the edge if you wanted to. That's how you can kind of extend it down a little. Take that brighter color of our white with our dark sienna. Just kind of slide it across, back over there. Nothing too nuts, right? Nothing too crazy. It's kind of cool looking. Kind of cool looking. I should make this guy extend out a little bit. There we go. Just changing the angle up a little bit, right? However you want it, and however you want it to look, is exactly what it's going to be like, okay? Remember, you can grab this painting if you like it. Head over to my site and grab it. And if you want to know how to find that, the mods will tell you, or you can just type my name into your web browser, right? Paint with Josh, and my website will come right up for you. I always get that purple on me. Every time we do a purple scene, it tends to sneak its way onto my arm somehow. There we go. Okay. That's looking cool. We're going to put something right here, I'm thinking. We can kind of crisscross in between these two bits of land, so it'll make it look like our river is going like this, right? But if you don't have these separations, then you can't have it come from the other side like that. It's really cool. Really cool. We're going to finish around the edges just with our darkness, just so it looks like our painting is completed around the side. Right? It only takes a second or two, and it just really helps it look like the canvas wraps around, right? It's really neat. So you guys check in. Tell me where you're watching from. See how we didn't add this color back here, especially not back there. This one you can see a little bit more. This one we can really see the details. It goes back, it gets foggier, it gets harder to see. That's your depth and distance, guys. Now we're gonna mix up a little bit more of our Paint with Josh plaque while you're checking in. I'm gonna come back and try to read some of those comments and see where you guys are from. Where are you from out there? Ohio still? That's funny. That's funny. Let's see. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. We have no idea. I didn't know what it was going to look like when we started. We got no idea how it's looking now. It's looking pretty good if you ask me. Or where to go from here. Pennsylvania, Tennessee, West Virginia, Ohio, the Rose Garden. I'm in the Rose Garden. North Michigan, Tampa, Florida, Ohio over there on YouTube. You guys are on Western Australia on Facebook, Colorado, United States of Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Georgia, Houston, Massachusetts, England, Serbia, Albany, Idaho, and does that say Krakatoa, Idaho? That's kind of cool. Is there really a Krakatoa, Idaho? All right, let's get back here. Maybe. Maybe we can. Okay, we're gonna try, right? Nobody has got this painting yet, so it's still mine, so I can do whatever I want to it. And you guys just have to sit back there and watch, right? We're gonna get a little bit of our plaque mix, and I'm gonna get a little bit of that sap green on there too. Just chunk it up, bring it down here. You can see it kind of mix in, depending on the lighting. Okay, now, what if we had something out there? Knowing all of this is gonna be behind possibly our foreground up here. So what if we had a little guy right there, right out there, a little bit taller. Just a little thing coming in. Little thing coming in over here. All right, tap it down, tap it down, tap it down. So it gets a little lower each time, each time, each time. Just a little bit of land back there, okay? Now, you could even leave it, if we didn't do that, almost look like a little land bridge. Switch to my other brush, the other Paint with Josh brush. There we go. The other one just had too much paint on it. I was trying to dab it off. There, a little bit of grassy thing coming out somewhere, somehow, at some point. Come underneath him, just clean him up a little bit. Don't want to have too much. Don't need it all to be the same. And you can see we've got a little bit of dip down here, so it's not all the same height. Both of these guys, all right, this one's up a little taller, and this one's down a little lower, especially if we can make it look a little lower. There we go. See that? Just that little change in our elevation of that guy. Makes it look like it's further out there. Drag this one. Maybe he goes back in. Maybe it's just a little peninsula. Oh, that's cool looking. Maybe it's multiple rivers, you guys. I like that. Again, all we need is that dark texture back there for a little bit of detail. Nothing like this. You don't need it to be so bright, so far away. That's cool though. It's like a meeting of two rivers. The meeting of the elves in Rivendell. How do you want yours to look? Again, if it ever gets too far up your thing, you can take your land and shrink that water line back down. We don't want it to be too bright. Shrink that guy real far. There we go. Oh, that's looking cool. Now, forget about this grass back there, right? You don't need to do too much. Seriously, it should be about as dark as this guy. Anything in the foreground, we should be able to brighten up. Now, we've got that big bunch of plaque, and I'm even gonna take some more of my sap green, launch it down in there. More black, more crimson, more blue, just a little. There we go. Mix them all together. Shoot, we can even have some of that Van Dyke brown too. Throw it in there, make it all nasty, mix it up so it's all one color is all you need. A one color system. That's kind of cool how those are coming in. All right, then we're gonna do something bigger than this guy over here to kind of push back our sunset. Which is kind of cool, guys. Kind of cool, guys. I like it. So remember, if you like this one, you can head over to my website. The mods will tell you how to get there. And if you don't, that's okay too. All right, we're gonna come in here and load up this paint. Just loaded it, all right? Now we gotta come up above our midground tree. No matter how tall your background trees are, I mean, they shouldn't be taller than your midground. Everything should be growing in height as it gets closer to us. We're gonna come up here. We don't wanna black out too much of that, our sunrise or sunset or whatever it is, right? We're gonna pop out. Can't all be the same. Doesn't want it to just be straight up. That actually looks really cool like that. But we gotta continue on. We gotta continue. Dip it down, in and out. Start popping out and into your brighter areas back there. And the more that you come down and down, the darker it should be. You should really be blacking out these areas so you cannot see through them. All right, every so often, take a little bit and just make it weird. Pop it out. Have a weird little branch or something somewhere, okay? Same thing, we're gonna come down, keep going, I know. I should have told you don't leave before we finish this part, okay? Because right now, it looks like a whole big bunch of blah, right? Just a big bunch of, whoa, Nelly, Josh, what happened to you today, right? I feel you, I totally feel it. That's why I never liked doing these guys. I never wanted to do these little bushes or these types of things because of this part. You know what I mean? It just looks like, oh, what have you done, Josh? Why would you do such a thing? Always make sure it's like that. Very cool. Now, let's wash off our highlight brush. So we'll take all of our little colors that we were highlighting this other tree. We'll wash them out of this brush. And the way that we highlight the brush is you can do it with the Paint with Josh round brush, the same brush that we make the trees with. I like using the Bob Ross oval sometimes, just because it gives you different shapes, lots of different textures and different things in there, all dependent on you, right? Now let's get in here into our yellow ochre first. A little bit of green, just to kind of dull the yellowy ochre down, down, down. Let's come off of this guy up here, very light. Initially, what do? We touch full pressure onto our canvas, right? Full pressure when we're launching in those all of our darkness, right? We're mushing it on. But when we come back to do the highlights, very light pressure. That's the key. Have you ever heard the term making mud? Have you ever heard that? Just in your art journey anywhere, have you ever heard that term? Like, oh no, we don't want to make mud, right? Have you ever heard that? It's okay if you haven't. Just let me know. I'm just asking a question. A little bit more of our sap green, our cad yellow, just to get a different color than it was before. You come down in here. Ever heard that term mix and mud? Let me know in the comments. Just let me know. We don't want to cover all the dark areas either. Right? Let's see if we have. Yes, it's not good. Do you want to know why you're making mud or you're mixing mud? Right? Do you want to know why? Because you're using the same amount of pressure when you're doing your dark and when you're doing your highlights. If you were just to lighten up that pressure on your highlight bit, right? Mush it on full pressure with your darkness, and then you come in with your highlights. Maybe you want a bigger branch. Whoop. You want some little branches off of that branch. However you want to do yours, right? But that's the key. So you get your right amount of mix, which is your liquid white, right? Get your liquid white into whatever color we want to go. Where's that red? Get a little bit of that red, maybe some of that crimson too. Get a little bit of pinky flowery action down in here, right? Just pop them in, bang, little things. If you're not washing your brush, look at the different colors in those. Because we didn't wash the brush, right? Because some of the times, you don't have to wash your brush, and you get cool little things like that. Right? Now you go back again. You get back into your odorless mineral spirits and your titanium white, and you come in with your little branches, right? And off the Paint with Josh brush, they're very fine little branches. And they don't all have to be the same. That's one of the major things. It does not have to look alike. It doesn't have to be the same as everything else. Let's come up here into our yellow ochre again. Lots of that texture. There's lots of our liquid white on my brush right now. Right? So you get a lot of that texture. Bring it down, changing differences, little things, right? You can't have it all looking exactly the same all the time. So maybe this time we put more yellow onto our brush to get a different green to come out. You know what I mean? All up to you guys. The only thing I ever look at when you guys send me your photos and stuff, you're like, oh, can you check this out? The only thing I'm ever looking at is, do you have different colors, and did you keep your dark separators? Okay? Have you kept those areas of darkness where you can tell there's some separation in between these plants and different bits, right? Or have you not? Because I can tell. I can tell when you have, and I can tell when you haven't. A little bit of my liquid white and the blue. I love the little bluey color down in here. Again, not touching everywhere, because not everything has to all be perfect, right? Maybe we take this guy and start cutting in some land right here. There we go. We don't want it to get out too far. Everything underneath that little cut area will become reflections or whatever. Boom. Out too far, you're going to have it go into, it's going to get too close, right? But very cool, like a little meeting of the rivers down there. And if you didn't like any land or anything down here, you don't have to. You can let your bushes fall all the way off of it, or you can have a little bit more land, right? Just have that darkness in there that will then be able to go over with our brown. There we go. Yeah, fill it in. Nasty, right? Then you can get that brown that we had before. Very lightly, just kind of wipe it across. The reason we like using the palette tool is because of its randomness, right? It will be random when you drop it off there. And that's how it is in nature. It's not just this perfect thing out there. It's going to be weird. You're going to have different areas of different bits and different places where things are brighter and things are darker, and maybe sometimes they don't all match up. Maybe sometimes they do. Our waterline a little bit more intense the closer we get, right? The further away we get, the less water we do. So, very lightly. Again, doesn't always have to be exactly the same. And if you end up running into a spot where, like, oh no, what am I going to do? It just won't get on there. Pull it down, swipe it over, very light. You can always do something, you guys. Literally. Always something you can do out there, here, there, or wherever, right? Plop it in. Now, let's get maybe, maybe we'll do some bright yellow on our bushes up here in the front. Some bright cad yellow, maybe. Man, this one's still available, you guys, so if you head over to paintwithjosh.com, this one's there waiting for you. Maybe we'll do some Indian yellow in our liquid white. We haven't done that on a bush in a minute. So a little of our Indian liquid white into the Indian yellow, and then we can decide how bright we want it to get. See how goopy it makes it. And then maybe down in here. Oh, look at that orangey color. Gorgeous. We don't need to do everything. We don't need every place to be as bright as every other place. So leave some darkness underneath, please. That's all I ask is please leave some dark down underneath there. And literally, in 50 minutes, 50 minutes, we've come up with something out of our heads, showed you many different things, many different ways to do many different things. And it's looking awesome. I like it. I like it. He likes it, Mikey. Let's see if we can't get there. There. Just one little bushy looking thing to kind of pop off the side over there, just to have it not be so perfect. That's all I wanted. All I ever wanted was for it not to be so perfect. Is that too much to ask? Maybe we get some of this golden Indian yellow stuff. pop these guys down here. Let them grow up into that red. So you can kind of crisscross them. Or these guys just have a little highlight every so often of that little yellow color, because they're going to be growing up through each other. All right, it's never all the same. You can even get in here, a little bit of our grass. Pop in just a little bit of grass underneath this guy. Leading down to a bit of darkness. Let them mix, let them get darker, because you don't want your grass to be that bright. There, that's better. Right? A little bit of darkness back there. Now, my final trick that I can show you is with your little palette scrapey tool. And all you need is for it to be nice and clean to get really thin branches, even thinner than the Paint with Josh brush can make. The Paint with Josh palette tool can make them even better. Scrape them in. Right, wherever they're living, from the darkness, they sprout up into the color, and it looks like little stems and sticks and twigs and little different things that are growing down there, holding up all of our items, right? We got all these items and flowers and such out there. So, now I need your help in coming up with a title for the painting, right? If you purchase it during the live show, you get to come up with the title and tell us, like, hey, we're gonna name it this. And I said, okay. But if not, then we have to come up with it as a group. So, if you guys could be so kind as to just tell me, what do you think this painting would be called? The Meeting of the Rivers, or, you know, Sunset Fork in the Road? I don't know, you tell me what you think. And I'm gonna come out here and sign it with the old caca. Just flying in the night. Very cool. So tell me what you think this one should be called, you guys. We're gonna use that same dark color, in fact, right down here. Right into the old pretty purpley water down here. Woo. Bing, bang, boom. My friends, you gotta come up with a title. And then you gotta tell old Paint with Josh what we wanna title this painting. All right, it's up to you. You are in control. You are the judge, the jury. You tell me what to name it, and that's what we shall name it. There we go. Now, how do you find this? Right? Like, oh, I love this. How do I find it? You go to paintwithjosh.com, right? And then it's going to be the very first thing that you see. Now, granted, it's not going to look like this yet because we haven't finished the show and been able to take a photo of it. Right? But it's going to be the very first thing that's right on my website. You just got to go check it out. You gotta find it, guys. You gotta find it in there. This one's number 1840. That's not the price. That's how many paintings we've done in my career. 1,840 paintings. Which to me, in 6 years, is a huge number. That's 6 long years of painting. How many paintings have you done? That's a good question, actually. So, let me know in the comments right now, how many paintings have you done? Have you done 1, maybe 3? Have you done 10? Have you done 30? How many have you done? Tell me in the comments now. I'm gonna finish washing out 3 or 4 more brushes and then we'll be all set. So, how many paintings have you done in your life? Or at least in your adult life that you can remember, you know what I mean? How many? Because once I got to number 500, I just couldn't think of a title anymore, you know what I mean? And everything was getting too confusing because the titles were too similar. And so I went all the way back to the very first painting I ever did, and I went all through them and got to number 500, and that's when I started numbering them, right? So a Paint with Josh painting that doesn't have a number on the back is highly valuable because that means it's very old. I'm talking year 1, maybe year 2 of my career, and that's how old that would be. Okay, guys. Hit me with your title suggestions, right? Tell me what you think. And then, that's looking fantabulous. Just fantastic. Look at it, it's lovely. Yes! Okay, remember, you gotta go to get it if you want it. You know where to go. I can't tell you any many more times than I've already told you where to go to find your best buds stuff. Right? So head over there if you want to grab this one. Now, I'm going to be looking for a title here very soon. Very soon. Lots of color in those brushes in there. Take a little bit of this white right here. Pull it down. There. Right? Don't need everything to all be exact or be so bright or whatever. So you can decide each time how you want it to be. Ooh, that's fantastic. Okay, let's knock the paint off of this brush one more time. Be looking for a title, my friends. So you better tell me what you think. That guy. That guy. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Everything's there. It's looking good. It's looking good, you guys. Autumn's Embrace. What was that pin? I just saw it fall off right at the last second. Serenity. That's cool. That is cool. Tranquility. Foggy Creek. I like that too. Cotton Candy Escape. This is Oils, AK. Oh, okay, I got you. Rustic Rainbow. I like that. Whispers Through the Painted Pines. Around the River Bend. That one's cool. My Happy Place. That one's cool too. That one is neat. You paint a rock or two in the middle of the water. I would. But this one, I would have done it further away. It wouldn't, to my brain anyway, make sense up here. And I don't want to try to go over it. Those rocks sometimes could be a pain in the tush. All right, they could just be a big pain. Watch, I'm gonna show you. I'll show you. I think. I'm sure Bob did it with a old filbert brush. Here we go. We get the Paint with Josh filbert brush. We get a little bit of our darkness, a little bit of our blue, a little bit of our brown. All right, just like that. Mix that guy up. Over here, we're gonna get a little touch of our white. Okay, check this out. So we've got our darkness on our one side of our filbert brush, get a little touch of our white, a little touch of our brown. There we go, get that on the other side. So then when it comes time to make the highlight, it should do it all on its own. If we got the dark, and we got the light, and then we go like this, and we go whoop, pop it over, and get yourself a little old stony stone, right? Or a couple little stony stones, wherever you want them to be. What do you do underneath those guys? You got to give them just a little bit of pull down, reflection, some sort of something, right? Just like that. Get your little stones in your water. Sometimes they're a big pain. Sometimes they can be a little easier, right? And then what do you do to clean up the bottom? You just throw a little bit of your liquid white back in there. Right? A couple little things. All up to you. Every time that you go to do a little painting, got yourself a little rocket poo in there, right? Little thing. So, super simple, very easy. Make sure you got your darkness in between the light and the other bit of light, right? Just like that. Very cool. I like it. A little bit of rocky goodness. Seems like our one rock is not dark enough back here. There we go. There. Just need a little bit of darkness for my own shadowy self. So, very simple. Even after you're already done, you can go back and add little things to it. So, what are we going to call this painting? You guys tell me right now. Got the last brush all cleaned up. And then, look at that. It's 6 o'clock. How about that, my friends? Sun-kissed. I dig that. That's cool, actually. Memory lane. That's very neat. Evening in the meadow. The lone two stones. The two lone stones. The lone stonerage. Dude, I really like those stones, actually. And they came out pretty easy. Which means maybe, God, maybe we do do some more, maybe. I'm just practicing anyway. We'll see what they look like. A little bit of our white with our brown over there. Perfection. A bit of our darkness on the other side. Let's see what we can do with these guys. Maybe we'll come, almost had the thing upside down. Come this way, do one more. Bang, just like that, right? A couple little bits each time you go, or you can do whatever you want to do when you do yours, right? There we go. All you need though, right? We're taking our light color on one side, our dark color on the other side, okay? And then turning the brush to flat to where the light is on the top and the dark is on the bottom. What if you came back and you covered over all of these little things? Right? We can decide what we want it to be every time that we go to do it a little different. And then if you don't like them, you can literally chuck a big giant log in between them. You could do whatever you wanted to do. There we go. The main point of them is not to worry about them too much. You know what I mean? So let's not worry about them too much. And launch in. Go a little higher up, get a little lower. Bang. We're in control every time of what we want it to look like. A little bit more darkness down here, just so the back corner is very dark. And then we can drop in our little signature back there. But you got to make them bigger. You got to make them, you know, sometimes bigger, sometimes darker. Maybe. There we go. Take that whole guy down here, and he's one big dark thing. Come back a little touch now, because there's a lot of thick darkness on there. A little touch of my liquid white and that brown, just on the one side of my brush, though. Doesn't need to be everywhere. And we can go across this guy. Kind of laying down a bit of light on the back of that thing. Every time you do it, try something new. That's what I like doing. Try something new, my friends. Because then you're going to be having fun, right? When you're having fun, it's fun. Imagine that. A couple little ripples, a little bit of rock or two or three or however many. Now I'm going to switch back to a lighter color to sign the painting with, because we added the rocks in the bottom corner. And so come down there, zip, zap, zoop, just like so. Okay, I can't wait to see all of your guys' versions of this painting. Please, please, please send it in. There we go. Please send them in to Paint with Josh on Facebook, official Paint with Josh, right? Send it to me over there. So if you search Facebook for @ that little @ symbol, @ official Paint with Josh, it'll come up with my page. It's got the blue check mark. You can send me a message through there. Or if you go to my Instagram page @PaintWithJoshK, then you'll be able to send me a message through there as well and show me the photos that you've recreated of all of my paintings. Please, I can't wait to see them all. This is why I do these tutorials for you guys, is because I want to see your versions of them. You know what I mean? I've got a whole Discord server where lots of virtual students and super fans, they hang out and post their pictures and their stuff and tutorials they've done or originals that they've done, and it's a really cool little scene. So if you're not already in my Discord, then you should be. Take a virtual class. You can access the Discord that way. Or you can do the send me the heart thing on TikTok, find it that way. Lots of ways to get to the Discord, but let's check these titles one more time. Throwing stones, I like that. I like that. Something to do. The sun-kissed is cool too. I do love that. All right, we're gonna mix the two. Sun-kissed stones. How do we call them that? All right, what if we took a little bit of our yellow ochre and just kind of, maybe on some of these bigger guys. Touch of brightness, a little sun kissing of our stones over here. Just a little touch of that bright somewhere. They don't all have to have it. Doesn't all have to be exact. There, just a little difference. little light catching on top, little detail, little something. And we'll call it sun-kissed stones. I like that. I like that, you guys. So, if you like it, head over. You can now grab it. You could have grabbed it this entire time, but you can also now grab it. And it can be yours. Once it's dry, I'll send it out right to you. Insured and all the good stuff. There we go. Bang, boom. This is what I do for a living, you guys. I paint these and I try to find them new homes so we can buy more canvases and continue to bring you more free videos, right? Let's get over here. Old Paint with Josh Originac. There we go. Perfect. Number 1840. The year, I don't know, a long time ago. Sun-kissed stones. I like it. Painted on 5/9/2024. We're all going to go check out paintwithjosh.com because it's the best place of all time. And you got to get over there and check it out. Now, like I was saying, I can't wait to see your guys' versions of this painting over on Facebook and on YouTube. We're going to say goodbye to you guys. So, please send in your versions of the paintings to me on Facebook at Official Paint with Josh, or on Instagram at Paint with Josh K. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. Goodness.